Hi, this is Matthew to talk about another Rolling Stones album, Sticky Fingers, released in 1971. The first time they've had their own, control their own material and their own label called Rolling Stones Records. And we have that tongue logo that is so famous on everything now. It starts here with Sticky Fingers. And yeah, I tried to make another video of this and it didn't work, so I'm trying again, and it won't be quite as long-winded, I don't think, now, because I will have to leave soon. But yeah, it's the first time we've had their own material, which they found out later they don't have their 60s material because they parted with Klein, and he did a thing they didn't check where he controls all their 60s output. So anything from 1963, I think, even through the 70 live album, Get Your Yayas Out, is all controlled by him, and now his estate and Decca Records slash, I guess that's what Abco is. And I suppose if London is still around, I don't know what they have control of. But they'll be putting out all kinds of compilations that they don't want out, but are out anyway, which we'll review also. None of those right now. I'll go through the tracks again. That didn't work last time. We open up with the great popular on side one, Brown Sugar, which is great, of course. Then Sway, also really good. Wild Horses, and then Can't You Hear Me Knocking, which is great. You Gotta Move. We'll finish up side one. Side two has Bitch, which is, of course, that's what it's called. Great horns in that one. I Got the Blues, Sister Morphine, Dead Flowers, which is also really good, a really catchy tune. And then Moonlight Mile ends it with some nice string arrangements, some flutes and other things. Some other strings throughout, some other horns are very prominent on several tracks on here, which is great. They did have one other single they sent to Decca. They rejected it. Decca put out Street Fighting Man, so they had one more track before this album came out. So Street Fighting Man becomes a single. If you had missed it, if you didn't have it as a single, you could get it there, or just get Beggar's Banquet. And probably have to spend maybe better use of your money. I don't know, depending on what your money situation was in '72. And then our deluxe edition has the following extras: Brown Sugar alternate version with Eric Clapton. I would love to know how that happened. I don't know, but it's really good. And then we have Wild Horses acoustic version. Can't You Hear Me Knocking alternate version of It. And then an extended version of Bitch and an extended version of Dead Flowers, or alternate version, sorry. And then Live With Me from Live at the Roundhouse in '71. Also with Stray Cat Blues from the same gig. And then Love in Vain. And Midnight Rambler. It's 11 minute 27 version of that one, which is, I think, similar to Yaya's version. Honky Tonk Women from the same gig. And then our deluxe edition has a third disc, which is the entire gig from Leeds in '71. The Roundhouse was only partials. We have Jumpin' Jack Flash, Live With Me, Dead Flowers, Stray Cat Blues, Love in Vain, Midnight Rambler, a 13 minutes and 9 second version of that one, so that's a really good long one if you want to hear that. Bitch, Honky Tonk Women, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, and Little Queenie of the Chuck Berry cover. Brown Sugar, which has some really good drumming by Charlie Watts, and yeah, just good up-tempo thing. And then Street Fighting Man, and Let It Rock finishes out the set. I don't know if they had more than that. That's the 13 songs we are given here. Our personnel, though, of course, Mick Jagger played lead vocals and acoustic guitar and castanets and maracas and electric guitar. Keith Richards on electric guitar, and acoustic guitar and backing vocals. Mick Taylor on electric guitar and acoustic guitar. Bill Wyman on bass guitar and electric piano. Charlie Watts is the drumming. Our additional guys, we have some returners. Paul Buckmaster did the strings. Ray Cooder on slide guitar. Jim Dickinson on piano. Rocky Dijon on congas. He's been on before. Nicky Hopkins is back on piano. I think he was a full member at this point, but he's not in the band listing. Bobby Keys on tenor sax, depending on how it lists it. Jimmy Miller on percussion, their producer, does some percussion work on here. Dak Nitch on piano. Billy Preston on organ, which is great, doing some awesome organ stuff. Jim Price on trumpet and piano. Ian Stewart's back on piano, of course. And our technical people, Jimmy Miller, producer, Glenn Johns, engineer, Andy Johns, engineer. I wonder if they are related in some way. Chris Kimsey was an engineer also. Jimmy Johnson also engineered. Doug Sachs was the mastering engineer. Andy Warhol did the cover concept and the photography. Yes, and that Andy Warhol. It's a zipper cover thing that worked on early issues, and then they got rid of it because it was messing up the album, damaging the record inside. I guess some of the later issues did have a zipper on the CD version. I know it's on vinyl at my mom's house. I'll have to see, or I guess my house now too, since I'm back there. But a friend of theirs, I think, got some of his albums into their albums at some point, and I think that's one of them. So I'll see which version he has, if the zipper works, if it's just a picture or something. Be curious to see what that is. Wonder how it plays too, but it probably plays all right. John Cash was there was a Spain album cover that was different than the other one. They objected to that, and then they changed the Love in Vain to a live Chuck Berry track. I think the Roundhouse. I think it's maybe it's Live with Me, or maybe Let It Rock. Something was substituted. So Don Pash did the cover art and concept for the Spain album cover, and Phil Giu did the photography. And that is that album there. So that's what happens there. I had a much longer out video, but we'll make this one work. So yeah, that was that one. A great album. I highly recommend it. Nice horn stuff, if nothing else. Has a great playing by everybody. Great vocals by Mick Jagger and stuff. So pivotal time, because this was their first real album that they had control of, and they could put it out the way they wanted it, and not have to mess with other album versions. None of that nonsense was going on after this. No more of that, unless you have compilations, but they have no control over their 60s output. So APCO and Decca can do whatever they want with it. And unfortunately, they tried to get it back, but they had to settle in '84, and I guess they just never brought it back up again. So I guess they have not tried to fight it since, which is a shame. Thing is, most of them are still alive except for Brian Jones and Charlie Watts now, but maybe someday they'll get it back. I don't know. I hope so. I would hate to have one phase of my career just where I couldn't get to it, and it was just locked away, and I had to, anytime I used it, I'd have to get permission from them to use the tracks, and then they put out whatever the heck albums they want to, whether what they want or not. It would be frustrating. But next time we'll hit Exile on Main Street. However, there's an album called Jamming with Edward, which is a nickname of Ray Cooder. From the '69 Let It Bleed sessions. I guess Keith Richards wasn't around, and they were waiting for him. And I don't recall Ray Cooder being on the album, but I think he might have been. But him and the other band members just kind of do a 6-song jam thing, which the tape was on. They decided to dust that off and release it under the Rolling Stones Records label. I guess there's some debate on whether it's any good or not, but I have not heard it. But also in '71, there was a Hot Rocks 1964 to 1971 album which is the very first album I ever bought on tape from a garage sale. I still have it, still plays. It was used, well played before I got it. It's not in bad shape, but just you could kind of tell it's been played. It hasn't broke on me yet. Thank goodness it's not broken. And then there was another one that Decca put out called Milestones, which of course is various 60s songs. I think they've all been issued before. We'll see if I can. I think it's an Apple Music. I know the other ones are. I'm almost certain that one probably is too, because everything else has been. We'll get it. I'll get to those in between Exile, but I'll at least cover the tracks at least. Edward I'll talk about just because it's a new album technically, even though it's older material. But I guess since they hadn't released it, then I guess they must have owned it because it wasn't out anywhere officially. Just as some tapes running around, they were able to get on their label instead. So I guess take that, Decca. Just some jams and things. That should be fun. I think it's only 6 tracks long. So that would be interesting to cut here. Yeah. I may listen to that over the weekend just because it's not the main album, but I may give my thoughts and I'll go through the track listings of the 2 compilations. I'll check them, of course, make sure if there's any different stereo versions, or they shouldn't be on Hot Rocks, but I don't know about Milestones. But I think that will do it for now. Hopefully this video will work and record. The other ones did not. I don't know what happened. Things I didn't want to record did. So we'll see. We'll see if this gets fixed now. And next time I will see you guys in another video.